Hey everyone, and welcome to Hillcrest Connects, where we briefly want to share with you what it means to meet together as we catch a glimpse of what God is doing in and through our congregation. Today we have with us Jayk Sterkenburg. He is part of our congregation and he's a student with YWAM. Jayk, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
So share with us a little bit about how this COVID-19 pandemic has affected you.
Sure. So I was taking part in a YWAM course over the fall, and we did Thailand for our outreach. So we were in Thailand for 3 months after I did the lecture phase in California. And I had actually chose to drive to California for my YWAM course. So I had driven there and I had taken the 6-month course, and I think it was while we were in Thailand that I actually first heard about the virus, but our group weren't too concerned about it. I mean, there's a few of us, of course, who were gonna go and stir crazy about it, but honestly, I just thought it was another small little sickness, so I wasn't too concerned. Anyway, we got back to America, and we had a connecting flight in South Korea, and we had actually heard that they stopped flights from South Korea the day or two after we flew out. So then I was like, okay, this is probably getting serious. And so anyway, we were in California for another week to finish YWAM, and then I started heading back up north, and so I was driving, and I kind of heard a thing here and there about the virus just from people that I met and just overhearing people in parking lots, and it kind of sounded more serious than I thought. I was just hearing that it was spreading really fast and that, it was affecting a lot of people. So then I was like, okay, maybe this is a big thing. I should probably cross the Canadian border so I'm able to get home. And so I think when I got to the border, it was like a 2-hour line. It was just crazy. And my mom had actually texted me while I was in Portland in Oregon saying that they were gonna start closing the borders. So then I was a little concerned. So then I made my way home, and I made it across the border with no problem. And then I got home, and I got a quarantine sheet when I crossed the border, just with instructions on how to self-isolate and quarantine. And that's when it actually really hit. I was like, okay, this is a real thing, and I need to do what I can to prevent this spread, because to be honest, I wasn't really concerned about it. So I wasn't concerned about it for myself, but I should have been concerned about it for others and done what I could to prevent it being spread, which I didn't really know how. But now that I had this sheet, I was aware that I had to quarantine when I got home. So
tell us what it's like to be home now.
It's been difficult, to say the least. It was really liberating just to be able to travel for that long. I think I was gone for about 8 months, and it was just the most amazing time of my life, honestly, and especially just to be able to I was living in my vehicle and just driving, and it was just an amount of freedom that I've never felt. And so now to be confined to my house is definitely challenging, going from that.
So the traveling was an amazing experience. Tell us a little bit about what God was teaching you. What were you learning from him during those 8 months?
Yeah, so I went into YWAM really believing that I knew almost all there was to know about God. And from the moment I left my house, just on that drive, I really learned right away that I really didn't know a lot, and I just fully surrendered myself to God right away, and I just admitted that I needed him more than ever, and I just wanted to know him more than ever. And for that first 6 weeks that I was on the road on my way to California, I just relied on God more than ever. And I was just in conversation with him pretty much constantly for that 6 weeks straight when it was just me and him. And just to realize that I was missing out on that alone time with him, and just that I needed to be more intentional. And it took for me to actually be in that situation where I had no choice but to be alone with him. I realized that I needed to be more intentional about that. Even just when I got back to normal life, just being alone with him, even though I have people that I could be with, I had to choose in those other moments to be alone with him just so I would have that time with him.
So tell us, what does your day look like now?
Well, I'm trying to be as productive as I can. I mean, as far as it goes with not having a lot to do, really I'm just trying as hard as I can just to set apart time for God. And one really nice thing about having been to YWAM is they have worship. They have a worship time for 2 hours for 3 days of the week, and so they live stream that, so I can hop in on that and kind of just see the staff members that I really got to know and kind of just participate that way. And just have also become more intentional about even just reading my Bible, because it's something I've always struggled with, but having gone to YWAM and even just taking a small lecture on overview of the Bible has just gotten me really interested in reading it, and just with a mindset of knowing that I don't know everything about it and that I'm willing to learn.
What's the biggest discovery you've found?
So the biggest discovery I found in all of this probably is just to be satisfied with whatever situation I'm in, because it's not ideal, to be honest, to be home right now, but I just need to find all those little reasons that I can appreciate why I'm here, and all the reasons why I could believe that God wants me here right now, and just to find satisfaction in that, knowing that it's not necessarily my plans that matter, but that it's God's in the end.
So what does the future have for you?
At this point, I have no idea. I've gone through a lot of plans in the past couple months that have been constantly changing, so it could change next week, but as of now, I'd love to take a secondary course with YWAM, a biblical studies course in the fall in Oregon. But I mean, with the situation with the borders right now, I don't know when I could get into the States next.
Is there anything you want to share with your church family?
Yeah, I mean, I think that YWAM or any biblical college or school is an incredible choice to make. It may seem intimidating, or maybe you're like me where you really did think that you knew all there was to know, but I'll just say you most likely don't, because it's hard to know everything about God. He's a big guy. He's an interesting character, and you will, even if you feel like you know everything, there will always be that one thing that you find out that'll really change your whole perspective on just the faith. And for me, it made me really appreciate that I am part of the faith, and that I have these people that support me in this, and that I have opportunities like this to go to a Bible college and learn things that I wouldn't have learned otherwise.
Those are wise words. Thanks, Jayk, and thanks for coming in. We really appreciate you coming in and sharing with us. And thank you for joining with us again. To stay connected with us, sign up on Realm, follow us on our social media sites, or visit us at hillcrestchurch.net.